Oh boy, we got a lot to talk about, folks. We got a lot going on between NFL Week 13 getting ready to kick off this morning. We got the college football playoff getting shaken up after some games that we thought this was pretty much set and done, and now they've with TCU losing and USC both losing. You know, they were both 3 and 4 seeds going in. Does this hurt them? Does this, the question is now, does TCU get harmed and punished for going to the championship game and now losing? Does Ohio State now slide in probably? Does Alabama with 2 losses have a shot? No one wants it. It's a possibility. I don't think it should happen, but we'll break all that down. We got the World Cup. We haven't talked soccer. We haven't talked World Cup. And just like that, USA is out. We'll kind of talk about that in a little bit. And Deion Sanders news. He takes a job. He gets a job, and he's moving on. We'll see what that entails and what that could bring to the program of Colorado. So let's just go ahead and get right back into it then. One time. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and get back right into it there. So like we were saying, we'll get into all these stuff here, but I want to talk about the games. Let's go through the games, make our picks, get all the picks in for Week 13. We haven't been hitting them. We haven't been hitting the picks, but it's been a crazy year, man. It's been a lot of teams that come out and have been flying on the radar. Teams that thought wouldn't be good at this point in the year anymore, and they're kind of making some moves. You look at the matchup, a fun matchup in December for once. We're going to start here because this one excites me, and it shouldn't between the two. This might be the most exciting game between 2 4-7 teams. You got the Jaguars coming in to play the Lions. Lions have been that team where it's like sometimes they can score with the best of them, and you think it's the Chiefs offense that they're running, and then some weeks it's like, damn dog, y'all look like the Patriots did against the Bills. Unable to, and the Jets just not able to do anything. The inconsistency it's what makes younger teams. A fun little thing though, we are supposed to see, I believe we're going to see Jameson Williams in this matchup. We are supposed to be getting back Jameson Williams, the rookie big wide receiver that Detroit took in the draft this year. When did they take him? Was it 22nd overall? Or something like that. They took him in the first. He was a first-round pick, and he has yet to play. He tear his ACL again against Georgia last year. So we're gonna see what that kid's like. That's a weapon that the Lions would love to have. Would definitely go a long way. But this is 2 teams that are up and coming, improving. I don't know. As the only difference between these 2 teams, truthfully, is the quarterback situation. I think the Jags kind of know they got Trevor Lawrence. Barring any major setbacks, they're going to move forward with him and let him progress and take steps forward and becoming hopefully a MVP caliber quarterback for them. Whereas the Lions are kind of stuck in this situation where they have Jared Goff. They traded for. They brought in. They're on the hook with that big contract with them. They're not getting out of that contract anytime soon, so they're kind of just rolling with the punches. But the rest of the core around them is young, and they're kind of weaning out what they don't need and moving forward with Dan Campbell. He's kind of getting the core that he wants around this team. So 2 different paths there, but otherwise these are 2 teams kind of trending up. They're not the Texans, right? The Texans got a lot of work to do with that team, and I don't know where they start, but they kind of had a bad pull of the luck there with Deshaun Watson. But these 2 teams are just on different trends. They're on the upward trend, I think. A lot to be looking forward for if you're these 2 fan bases. And this is a kind of game I think that's going to highlight both those teams and where they're going. So it's going to be a fun matchup. As far as picks go, it couldn't be a tougher pick. I mean, this couldn't be. I could flip a coin and have better luck than if I went down and broke down. If I were to watch tape, break down everything, this kind of game between these 2 teams, they're just so inconsistent, and because of that youth. With that being said, I like the Jags defense and how they've been playing lately. Really, both teams don't have much injuries that they're looking for other than guys that they know that are out. Jacksonville has a couple guys that they're questionable. Travis Etienne. This is tough, man. I don't know. I'm going to go Jags. I like the Jags. I think with Trevor Lawrence, gets him going. This may be a game where he really feels himself. Because when he's feeling good, that team does look pretty good. With that defense, they got Aluakon flying on that side of the defense. It's kind of all over the place, making tackles. No surprise there. He was dominant in Atlanta. I wish we would have kept him. Since we let Deion Jones go, why couldn't we have kept him? But it is what it is. Good play for Jacksonville. I'm going to take the Jags on that one. Next game, Falcons. My dirty birdies, man. Falcons going against the Steelers. Now, this on paper was supposed to be an easy game just because the Steelers have been playing and we should just dominate them. Luckily, it's not Monday night because now we got a shot. And had this been Monday night, good fucking luck. We'd have been toast because they don't lose on Monday night. I think Kenny Pickett coming off the highs of that game, he did look good in that game. They say Najee Harris is a go. I don't know how much of that stock I believe. He has a streak of he's never really missed a game. He started all of them. I think they're going to get that streak going. He bounced early last week. He's really just banged up. But they're saying he's a go. I'm not believing too much into it. We did get news, though, that unfortunately for Atlanta, Kyle Pitts done. He's on IR. Not going to be. They thought they were going to get him back, but it doesn't look like he's going to be back now if they do have a playoff push, which does suck. That puts a lot more pressure on Drake London, Alama Zacchaeus, and the run game. I think the run game, to me, Atlanta's just got no weapons, man. They don't have any weapons offensively now. They're slowly being depleted. We lost, Ridley, of course, for the year. Then you take away now Kyle Pitts. You're leaving your number one guy is a rookie first rounder who has looked good. With the limited, we're not passing like crazy, so he's not like he's getting 10 reception games for 127 yards, some shit. Does not drop the ball, though. This kid's got sure as fucking hands. Only has one drop on the year, I believe. Tied for the lowest. Or he was tied for the lowest. On the other side, you look at the Steelers' defense. It's going to be a problem with the way T.J. Watt and them boys. Minka Fitzpatrick flying around is going to. I think they're going to get. I think Minka's going to trick Mariota at least once this game. I think he gets a pick. I think it's going to be a tough matchup for Atlanta. It's not as easy. I don't think it's going to be as easy for us as they're kind of making it seem. I think it's going to be a hard fought game. I think Atlanta does pull away, but just because they can control and they're going to have to with that run game. They're going to have to control with that run game and Mariota. I mean, Pickett has made some mistakes. If Atlanta can get some turnovers, that's going to help them tremendously, especially that offense. They get a couple turnovers on that defense, that goes a long way for our team. So I'm going to take Atlanta in this one, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think everything's going to be earned. So, Packers, Bears. Rodgers is banged up. That's the big story, right? Rodgers is banged up. Where's Jordan Love? When are we going to see Jordan Love? How do we handle that? And, I said my piece about it, but a lot of injuries for both these teams. It's going to be tough for the Bears with no Jaquan Brisker. Kyle Gordon's out. Kendall Vildor at corner is also questionable. Larry Borum is out, their offensive tackle. I mean, the Bears are hurting a lot, but then you go with the Green Bay, and they got Bakhtiari out. Darnell Savage is out. Devondre Campbell is questionable. If he doesn't play, that becomes huge. And Romeo Dubes. If he doesn't play, that's huge. They need every piece they can on that offensive side of the ball for Green Bay because it's hard enough as it is. Aaron Rodgers banged up. Ribs are hurt. He's going to give it a go. To me, for the key for them is going to be how well does he play and how long does he last. And then what does Jordan Love look like if he has to come in? I don't know. It's gutsy for Rodgers to go out there and play at 4-8. To me, they need to shut it down, right? They just need to shut it down. You're going to need a lot of help. maybe give them this game. That's fine. But after this, man, they lose this game. You're going to have to shut it down. You got to see what Jordan Love is, because at some point he's supposed to be the guy. He may be an 8-year vet when he just gets to play. But if you're Green Bay, why would you not do it? Do what the Browns are going to be doing with Deshaun Watson. It's the same fucking scenario, right? Deshaun Watson misses the whole season. This will be his first game back. The Browns are fucking done. It doesn't matter. Deshaun Watson's not going to come in with a Superman cape and save the season. Nor is Aaron Rodgers right now. Bring in Jordan Love. See what they got. The only problem that brings for Aaron Rodgers is if Jordan Love plays good, the fans are going to turn on Rodgers, and they're going to want Love, and that's going to cause something that might not be needed. But if it's a business like how they say, quote unquote, say it is, they treat it like a business. Everything's a business move. When they cut somebody out, that's just business. Then this is just a fucking business move. I want to see what my investment is behind you, because you are going to leave at whatever time. It's going to be okay if Aaron Rodgers retires after this year. And then the Packers would look stupid if they had kept Rodgers. So for me, I don't buy that whole Rodgers gets to do whatever he wants. If he wants to start, he's starting. They paid him all that money. I don't give a fuck. It's a business. I want to see what Jordan Love has. If I'm Green Bay, I don't give a shit about that shit. I mean, it ain't no disrespect to Rodgers. It ain't no slapping face. I'd sit down and talk to him and be like, listen, you're fucking great. Cool. Except for the playoffs. You suck. But besides that, you're awesome. But we're 4-8. You're banged up. Our whole team's damn near the walking wounded project. We're hurt. We're done. The season's over. We're putting in Jordan Love. We want to see what he's got. And if you got a fucking problem with that, retire or ask for a trade. It's a fucking business, dog. You can't get your emotions tied up in that shit. But anyways, on the Bears side, Superman Justin Fields is back. He's not gonna have, but they don't have Mooney. He's done for the year. Herbert. Maybe he'll be back still. That's 1-2 combo running attack. But that's about it. The Bears need offensive weapons. Chase Claypool has been non-existent right now with him. I don't know if that's just he needs time to get into the system or what have you, and him and Fields getting on the same page. I don't know what the situation is, but he ain't been around. And if the only thing the Bears have for this game is they want to beat Green Bay, right? They're gonna try. Just because they're 3-9, they're not gonna sit on their ass. This is fucking Green Bay. They're gonna go out there and play. They don't want to lose this, dude. Aaron Rodgers has gone on and said, "I own you, motherfuckers." You don't want to lose to that guy ever. You want to beat that guy all the fucking time. So I think that Bears are going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. I have a fucking feeling they win this game. I think the Bears come out with a little bit of a chip. They find a way to piece this thing together. They find a way at home. They're not going to take this ass whooping. I'm going to go the Bears. I like the Bears in this one. For some reason, I think Fields is going to, he's going to have to be Superman. He's going to be Superman. Even with the injuries on the Bears defense, I know they're not going to have a lot of pieces. This could be one Green Bay takes advantage of and gets a win. I like the Bears play upset. I think they're going to play angry. They don't want to lose this fucking guy. They're sick of this guy. And he's hurt. And yeah, I like the Bears in that one. Jets-Vikings. Interesting one here. Interesting one here now. Because you got the man, the myth, the legend, Mike White, his goddamn fucking self playing this game. He better be. Mike White's got to be playing this game for the Jets to have a chance. In all seriousness, though, the Jets coming off a win against the Bears. Mike White looked great. It was the Bears, so the defense, which does concern me against Green Bay, but whatever. I'm going with Bears. But the Jets and Vikings coming in, at 9. They're sitting at 9-2, but then something about this team, winning against Buffalo in overtime, 33-30, but then losing to Dallas, 40-3. That loss to Dallas really fucking just sits with me, where I can't trust this fucking team. I have a hard time trusting this team. I wasn't a big believer with them anyways, and then they lose 40-3. Good teams don't lose like that ever. You can be a great team and have losses. You don't lose 40-3, dog. Nah. There's just something stinks about the Vikings. Like, that stinks with them right there. But the Jets, I love the Jets' defense. I really do. I love the way the Jets are playing. Their defense is amazing. It's on fire. It's really slowed a lot of teams down if you look at it. You know, they lose to the Jets, and they lost to the Patriots, rather, and they only gave up 10 fucking points. Their last games, they've given up 10, 3, 17 to Buffalo. 17 to Buffalo, the Jets did. 17 to New England, and then 9 to Denver. 10, 3, 17. I mean, 17 against a good Buffalo team. But you got a high-powered Vikings offense. But man, do they allow a lot of? I mean, they allow a lot of yards. That Vikings defense. They're allowing 470 yards on defense. That Vikings team. That is concerning to me. Especially 114 rushing yards and 293 passing yards they're giving up. The Jets are only giving up 328 yards. So you look at what their defense has done. Dare I say I like the Jets. I like what Mike White's doing. I'm going to go Jets. J-E-T, Jets. I'm going Jets. Against the Vikings. Vikings at home. I'm going to take the Jets. If Mike White, with Mike White starting, I'm all in. I'm all in on this kid. Kid was a fucking stud against the Bears. Vikings, that team, man. They let up 40. I don't know. This could be another one of those games. I like the Jets. This one's a tough one. This one is such a tough one now, this next one. Commanders and Giants. I mean, these two teams, I'm going to tell you right now, it's really going to be hard to not pick the Commanders, the way they've been playing, the way that defense is playing, what they did to us last week. Could have won that game, but right there, boy. The Giants have obviously been rolling until as of late they've been kind of slumpy these last few games. They got the last win against the Texans and the Jags. Not quality wins. Whereas you go and look at the Commanders, they've beaten the Eagles, giving them their only loss. They also beat Houston. They beat Indy, which is whatever, and they beat us. I mean, that win against Philly's huge. This team to me has more grit, to me, it's Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera is a great coach. I think this team's got more grit, more guts, and more ways to beat you. I feel like they have more ways to beat you. Daniel Jones is so streaky with what he's doing. They rely way too much on Saquon Barkley still. And are they going to be able to? This kind of matchup to me with that defense, they're going to be all over Daniel Jones. Not as mobile as Mariota was. Mariota kept us going with being mobile and making some plays. I don't think Danny Dimes is to that level. And to me, I look at defense first when I look at a matchup. And if your defense does not hold up against some, that's huge. And the Commanders' front seven is just downright disgusting. How they've been playing, you look at they only give up 21 to the Eagles, that's pretty impressive the way they play. 10 to Houston, 13 to the Atlanta. So, they gave up 20 to Minnesota in a loss, and 6. I mean, I'm harping on defense right now because this is one of the better defensive teams, and I think that's going to make the difference in this one. I like the Commanders in this one just slightly, but man, these close games, close calls. Next, we got the Eagles and Titans. I think will be a fun matchup. I think could be a pretty close game. I definitely like the Eagles in this one. I have not been a big buyer of the Titans. They play that same style, man, and they rely on Derrick Henry so much. Relying on him so much, it's hard to get anything done if they take away that. It's such an uphill battle now for your team when Derrick Henry is your only resource at times. And he's a great player, great back, but damn, dude, you can't win one-dimensionally. And Tannehill doesn't. Tannehill's not a guy that's going to go out and win you games. He just will. He'll just manage a game. He's a manager. That's all he is to me. I haven't seen enough out of him to prove me wrong. When Malik Willis came in, it's not even like the game plan for them didn't change when he had to step in. It was still pray to God Derrick Henry just wins us the game, and we hold it down defensively. They play really good defense. Tennessee does, but their offense barely keeps up. It is just enough to keep up with him, and it's too streaky for me. I'm going with the Eagles at home. Broncos Ravens. Not much here on this one. This is Broncos. Obviously, they are what they are. They're not. They're just bad. Just a bad season right now. And Baltimore, they're not much better. To be truthful with you, they're not much better. The way they play is so like, what the fuck, dude? They are the most what the fuck. Like, if you could just, being a fan base for the Ravens has to be so frustrating because they have a winning record, but like they lose games that they should have no business losing. They had no business losing to Jacksonville. They had absolutely no business losing to Jacksonville. You look at week 2 against Miami. No business losing that game. They were up huge. They let them come back. It was a fun game. They lose to Buffalo by 3. They let them come back on them. They had a lead in that one. They lose to the fucking Giants. Had a lead in that one. This team cannot hang on to a lead. It's never over with the Baltimore Ravens. And they're a good enough team. They're built to put away teams. It doesn't make sense. They have the best formula because what they want to do is run the ball, and they have the best running quarterback right now in Lamar Jackson. They have great running backs. They have a good fullback to block. They have a good offensive line. They have good solid receivers. They have the team to run the ball and salt teams away, put it away, end the game. That's what they're built for. They're built around running the ball. How they can't put teams away is fucking ridiculous. So it's got to be frustrating to be a Ravens fan. It's frustrating on paper because this is such a great team. Offensively, defensively, they're built to win now, and they just can't seem to win close games. Doesn't matter their opponent. Doesn't matter where they're playing. It doesn't matter. They cannot put people away. And to lose 28-27 against Jacksonville is just fucking, dude, they were winning the whole game. It's crazy. So it's frustrating for the Ravens. I'm picking the Ravens because the Broncos are so far. They got a lot of issues. They got a lot of problems going on right now that they need to fix. But I don't think it gets fixed this season at all. So, yeah, I'm going with Baltimore, but keep an eye on it. They can't put this fucking game away. It'd be interesting. I think they beat Denver. They got no problem. Browns Texans. Deshaun Watson. This game's big. This game will be big. Not so much of what's going on in the field, other than Deshaun Watson, but it's gonna be big. It's gonna be huge. Deshaun Watson's first game back against his former team. I'm gonna go with the Browns. Just the way the Texans are the Texans. But this is gonna be interesting. How is he gonna look? What's Deshaun? I think Deshaun Watson. It's gonna be. The fans are going to be going nuts. He's going to get booed. It's going to be ugly for him. I don't think it's going to be very favorable when he gets on the field. So it's not a home game, so and especially this being the first week you're back. Woof. Good luck to you. It's going to be wild. Great, fans will be going nuts. I think that obviously the Browns get the win. They're coming off an overtime win against Tampa Bay, which is kind of big. Kind of keeps them alive, but not really. They're 4-7. They're pretty much done. But this will be an exciting one just to see what Deshaun Watson does and how he plays. So I'm excited for this one. Looking forward to this one here, just for the reaction. See how he looks coming back. Is he immediately Deshaun Watson, or is it going to be rusty, kind of? Yeah, there was where that throw, if he had been playing all season, that throw would have been made. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but I'm taking the Browns in that one. Seattle and Los Angeles Rams. Let's say right now, just off rip, I'm going with Seattle. Obviously, Stafford was shut down. He was just put on IR. This will be Bobby Wagner's first game against Seattle. Not going to mean much because they stink. I don't think this game will be very exciting. It's not going to be close. It's going to be kind of one of them games. I'm going with Seattle. They need this win. They have been on, After going on a tear for a surprising tear, they're on a 2-game losing streak now against Tampa, coming off a loss against Tampa Bay and that overtime game against the Raiders, which was exciting. The game was pretty awesome. I'm gonna go with Seattle to bounce back against the Rams. Taking advantage of just team that's you want to talk about a team that's done for, man. That is the Rams. They got nobody healthy, nothing. I mean, they're in bad shape. Okay, now we got a real fun one as well. This one is just, we got the Dolphins and the Niners, two teams that I'm starting to like more and more as possible. This would be a Super Bowl matchup. I'm not gonna lie with you, because the way the 49ers are playing with that defense and how they're they don't need Jimmy G to do much at all. The way they're playing, they shut out the fucking Saints. They give up 10 against the Cardinals down in Mexico. Yeah, I know it's Colt McCoy, but only 16 to the Chargers, 14 to the Rams, and they took an ass whooping to the Chiefs back in right before Halloween. But 49ers defense has been playing good. Offensively they got all the weapons, all the resources they could ever fucking ask for. But then you got the Dolphins, where it's just Tua and Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill playing backyard fucking football. I mean, the Dolphins are fun to watch, dude. For everyone that was shit talking Tua, shut the fuck up and go sit in the corner, because that dude is fucking, he's good, man. He's good. He might not have the Mahomes arm. God forbid, no one can throw it 90 yards like Mahomes and Josh Allen. He's Tua. He's his own, he is who he is. And he's got his team 8-3. So if you got a fucking problem with that, and they're 8-3 because he was missing a couple of games, you got a problem with that. You got a problem with fucking winning, then good. Then you're fucking, you lost your minds. Tua's the man. Plain and simple. The Dolphins look great. With Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, they're scary. Raheem Mostert, they got so much speed on that fucking team. So it's going to be that offense can that defense stop them? I like the Dolphins in this matchup. Even for what it's worth, I think the way they can score points, if they can break that seal a little bit against that defense and get some points on the board, I don't know if Jimmy G can keep up with how quick they can score and how much. You seen what they did against Baltimore, like we were talking about, but way back then. So I like the Dolphins, but this is a fun matchup. This is a game to watch. You don't want to miss that game. To me, that's a game you don't want to miss. Just kind of like how you don't want to miss the what was it? Which game? The Commanders and Giants. I wouldn't miss that game, because that's an important game for playoffs. It's an important game for a lot of teams in that division. Chiefs Bengals. Again, another banger. This is a good one. But to me, though, when you look at these two teams, and they've been jawing back and forth, this is going to be a fun one. They've been talking. You got guys talking on defense, and was it Justin Reed talking and Jamar Chase coming back at him. So this has a chance to be a little chippy, a little fun. Might have a good match, good AFC matchup here. Could be a future playoff matchup. And the Chiefs come in, they're just fucking rolling. They're firing on all cylinders. The Bengals are winning, but they're a little inconsistent. They're just kind of like, they're not like, you look at Kansas City and you're like, yeah, dude, they've been fucking winning. No, they've been in close games, but it's different. The Bengals are streaky, man. They're really streaky. They haven't looked like how they looked, in that Super Bowl game. They're just, they're just, I just don't trust them enough yet against high caliber teams. I like what they're doing. Joe Burrow, obviously a great quarterback. Mahomes, great quarterback. It's going to be a fun matchup between quarterbacks. Excuse me. But the difference for me is just the experience and how they've been playing recently. I like the Chiefs in this one, but this is going to be a fun matchup for sure. The Bengals, they get a win here, they might put some respect on their fucking name now. They might be clicking on at the right times. Next, we got Chargers and Raiders. And a couple of weeks ago, this game wouldn't have been anything, but hold your horses now, because the Raiders been looking good. Uh, the only problem with the Chargers, and it seems like every year it is a problem with the Chargers, is they're so banged up right now. They are very banged up. Losing receivers, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen being banged out. Now they got Corey Linsley, their center's out. Their offensive tackle, Trey Pipkins is out. So it's going to be an uphill battle. You could say the same for the Raiders, but they've been kind of clicking now, right? They've won 2 in a row, and the Chargers they've been up and down. They beat Atlanta, losing to San Fran and Kansas City, 2 really good teams. But then they beat the Cardinals last week, barely. This one could be either way. It really could. Then the Chargers are trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Raiders trying to just scratch and claw to get anything. Even with the banged up Chargers, I'm going to go with Chargers. I picked them. I thought they were a big Super Bowl favorite the way they've been playing. I think somehow they find a way to get this thing done. This, to me, it's going to be... This game's either going to be a very close game to the end, or one team's just going to fucking blow out one team. There's no in between. It's going to be one of those. Either it's a close matchup, they're fighting, or one team just gets fucking punched in the mouth and doesn't respond. We're going to see either way there. And then we got Sunday night, we got Colts, Cowboys. Colts, very disappointing team. Just how they've been playing. They've been in a lot of games and just squandered it. They're unable to put up points has been their problem. The Colts haven't been able to score any points. The Cowboys have had no problem with that in their last 5 games. You look back at the last 5 games. Put up 24 against Detroit, okay. 49 against the Bears. 28 against an overtime loss against Green Bay. 40 against Minnesota and 28 against the Giants. They got no problem scoring. Colts can't fucking score. Who do you think I'm taking? I'm going to go with Cowboys. The team that can score fucking points. It's just... If it just so... I don't even know if it's inconsistency with the Colts, because they're just consistently not scoring points. So you can't say it's inconsistency. It's... The running game is about the only thing going for them. The passing game is sloppy. It's not there. They just look lost at times. And the Colts just aren't what I thought they were going to be going into this season. I thought they had a real good fucking shot at doing something. And I don't know what their issue has been, but they can't score to save their lives. So I'm gonna go with Dallas. And that leaves us with the Monday night matchup between the Saints and the Bucks. Huge matchup for the NFC South. Someone has to win that division. Saints are not out of it. The Bucks are barely holding the lead. If they lose and Atlanta wins, that swaps. The Saints should get a win and Atlanta loses, and they're now back up there. So, I don't know who to go with in this matchup either, because the Bucks can't score. The Saints are just, I don't even know what the Saints are, but they've had the Bucks number. Against when they play each other, Brady has not been good against the Bucks at all. Does that trend continue? Does it stop? That's gonna be. That's the question in this matchup. Does Brady's trend of not being able to do anything against the Saints kind of continue, or what happens here? But I don't know. This one's a coin toss for me. Of course, I want the Bucks to lose. But I don't know if I think the Bucks pull away and get a win. Obviously I want them to lose for my Falcons' sake to get in, but I think Tampa gets a win here against the Saints, even though they've struggled against them. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a real close one, but I'm going to go Saints, I'm going to go Bucks. So go through it again. I got Falcons over the Steelers. I've got Bears over Packers, Jags over Lions, Jets over Vikings, Commanders over Giants, Eagles over Titans, Ravens over the Broncos, Browns over Texans, Seahawks over the Rams, Dolphins over the 49ers, Chiefs over the Bengals, Chargers over the Raiders, and I got Cowboys over the Colts, and for your Monday Nighter, I'm going Bucks over Saints. So we'll see how this week goes. Could be a a lot of fun matchups. Like I said, you're gonna want at least 3 TVs on at all times. Let's get to some other news right now. Let's talk a little college football. We haven't talked a lot of college football, but it does get interesting now with these games that happened just happened over the weekend. TCU goes down to Kansas State in overtime in a good matchup, good fun game. They couldn't get in on the fucking inch-yard line. They couldn't get in, gives it to Kansas State. So Kansas State takes care of business there, right? USC loses Friday night. They lost in a close game as well against Utah. I mean, close until the end, right? It was close, and then Utah pulled away. But, 47-24. And USC, I'll tell you this much. Caleb Williams showed a lot of fucking grit, a lot of heart. He was banged up. He had taken a beating. And he showed a lot of heart. But Cam Rising in Utah, they played fucking amazing. They went out and got the job done. They won. So the big concern is now USC's a 2-loss team. They're more than likely out, right? They're going to be out. That gives a spot to what I believe Ohio State is now in. The question is, does TCU slide out of the college football playoff now? Is TCU out of the top 4? And that's kind of the big thing going on when they're going to determine this. Does that hurt them enough to get them out? I don't think so. They lost in the conference championship against a really good team in Kansas State, who, by the way, is ranked 10 right now. They lost to Kansas State in a very close game where they could have easily won. They could have easily won that game, being that close. But we're not going to even go that route. They did lose. Their first loss, though. That's their first loss against a really good opponent where some teams didn't play. Alabama didn't play, so we know what they are going to be. They're going to be 10-2. They didn't have a chance. It's not like they played Georgia and had a chance to do something, because, God, that would have really blown some shit up. But people are saying that Alabama now should be in. Are wondering is the committee going to put Alabama in just because it's fucking Alabama, and that's what they do. With 2 losses, they'll kick TCU out and make them 5th. They put USC 6th or whatever. To me, TCU has to just stay where they're at. I like Georgia at 1, Michigan 2. I think TCU is a good 3. And 4 goes to Ohio State. I think you slide in Ohio State over USC. And just because, obviously they lost. They now have 2 losses. And you comparing the whole TCU situation, it is different than USC, because now USC has 2 losses, so they're down with Alabama, right? I think Ohio State deserves to be put up at 4. Their only loss was to Michigan in a really good game. Michigan's number 2. I think have Ohio State in at 4. We get Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. To me, that's how the college football playoff should pan out. I don't think Alabama deserves to be in. No, sorry, nah. I don't think so. And obviously no one else. You're not putting Tennessee, and obviously no one else is even in the conversation, right? It's between, do you put Ohio State in? Yes. And are you putting Alabama in? No. I don't think TCU moves, and Ohio State should definitely probably get in over USC. Just because USC gets their second loss, right? Okay. And they're so fucking banged up. Caleb Williams is, they're going to get in. And what? They're going to play Georgia? They're going to beat Georgia? Fuck no, dude. They're not beating Georgia. They're too fucking hurt. They're too banged up. Even if they did get in, I'm not saying that's what they should look at. Like, oh well, no, I'm just saying. Just think about that. If they were to get in, it wouldn't have mattered. So for me, that's where I'm at. I like the top 4 being Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State. I got no problems if that's what they go with. Anything other than that, I'm questionable. Fucking questionable. On that note, though, we did get over a hurdle, so we're gonna have a 12-team college playoff. They finally have they've gotten to that decision They were kind of just waiting on these legacy bowls. They had to all be sign off on this to get this done early. I don't think we were supposed to get this till 2026. But now we could get it for the 2024-2025 season. We're going to have 12 teams. How fucking interesting would that be? Let's just talk about this. We're going to now have 12 teams. This should have been happening, dog. Who wants a 14 fucking playoff? Fuck that. You're selling yourself short of all these teams that you have this whole fucking season and you get 4 teams that get to play for something. What? How fun would it be to have a USC and Alabama in the mix? Kansas State. Look what Kansas State. Look what happens. Utah playing against USC and wins in the conference championship. You don't think there would be magical moments if we have a 12-team playoff? You let a team like Washington's would be in it. So we did 12 teams just off of what the rankings are right now. This is pre losses right now. And this is before all the losses. They haven't factored in, USC's loss and all these conference championships. Right now, if they did 12 teams, we'd be looking at, who would get the buys? You'd have to give 4 first-round buys, right, for a 12 team, because that's 8. You'd have 4 matchups. So obviously this wouldn't what it would be. But let's just play it at like this now. So Georgia's 1. They would get a bye. Michigan would get a bye. TCU would get a bye, and USC would get a bye. Ohio State, then, is the first team to play. They would play Washington. Alabama would play Utah. Tennessee would play Kansas State. And Penn State would play Clemson. Those are some fun matchups. Just think of the possibilities with the 12 teams. This is so much better. Thank you, college, for getting this one right. It's about time. A 12-team college playoff is what has been needed. It brings excitement. Why do we fucking love March Madness? Because anything could fucking happen. We have a big 64 team bracket, and we got guys, teams that went out of nowhere. It's fun. It's what we want to see. No one wants to see where 4 teams get in, and every year it's Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and if someone gets lucky, that last spot. That's what sucked about the BCS championship with 2 teams get in. National championship. Boring. No one fucking cares. When it's college football and all these guys are getting recruited, the Alabamas and Georgias and the big powerhouses are the teams that get the best players. It's ass when you only let 4 fucking teams in because, shocker, the teams that recruited everybody and had all the fucking success recruiting because they're the fucking big powerhouses, they're in every year. Well, no fucking shit. I think this will be a lot more fun. I think the next thing we're going to talk about, Deion Sanders going to Colorado, is going to be a hell of a lot more fun because he makes this shit interesting. Colorado is going to be a fucking powerhouse while he's there. Look what he did with Jackson State. He's taken away top 5. He's taken away 5-star recruits from Alabama. That's why these Alabama, Nick Saban doesn't like it. Yeah, because they'd rather go play for fucking Deion Sanders than you. When you're not getting all these guys aren't going to be going to Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State. I love college football, but what I love about NFL more is it's the best players and there's no fucking recruiting, dog. There's no recruiting, right? So it's not going to be the same teams. Everyone has a chance. You just have to build your fucking roster. Anyone could be good. Look at the fucking Commanders. You don't get that. It's an anomaly in college. So I think this is going to be awesome for college football that Deion Sanders is going to Colorado. He's going to make that team a fucking powerhouse. We're going to hear about Colorado way more than we ever thought we ever would in our fucking lives as far as college football goes. And I think it's good. I think, this should happen a lot more. And I think the 12th playoff is going to be fun. College football is starting to get exciting. I fuck with college football. I watch it, but this will make it fun, man. A 12-team college football playoff. This will be fun. I'm down for it. And I think Deion Sanders going to going to Colorado for the Buffaloes. I think that's going to be fun. I love what he's doing. Now he's going to be, a bigger school. I think this leads to him going somewhere huge down the road. I think he ends up in an SEC school. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just throwing this out here. I don't know how long Nick Saban plans on coaching. But for me, I get this feeling that like Deion Sanders is going to be the next Alabama head coach. After all I just said, I almost have this feeling like he's just going to, he's going to do his thing at Colorado, and then he's going to wait for Alabama to open up, Nick Saban leave. Just you watch. I could see it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just pulling shit out of my ass, which I usually am. But I don't know. I think it's good for Deion. He's a fun coach. A lot of guys like to play for him. I say he's fun, but it's not like he's hard on them boys. He demands a lot with them, but he teaches them more than just football. He's teaching them life lessons. He's changing young men and he's changing boys and turning them into men. I mean, seriously. He's doing a great thing over there at Jackson State, and he's going to do great things with Colorado. And I think he hits the nail on the head. He's not there just to get these guys on to the next level. It's not a machine he's running and spitting out national championships. He's there. He's invested in the players too, and what they do off the field. So I give any coach credit when they do that. When they don't just think about the wins and losses. They think about these kids' futures, and they're realistic with them. And they know that all these guys ain't going to the NFL. That's not fucking happening. Some of you guys are going to have to think about what you're going to do outside of football. And I think he does a great job keeping that in realistically, but also pushing these guys to do the best thing they can do on the field. So I think he's going to do a great job for Colorado, and I think he's a hell of a coach. I would want to go play for him. I know he's going to bring a lot of guys with him. Lastly, I want to wrap this thing up with you guys is the World Cup. We haven't talked soccer at all. Haven't really talked about the World Cup. It was scary. We didn't even know if USA was going to get in, right? We weren't even sure what they do. They lose first game. What was it? United States lost first game, right? Where are we at? What group were we even in? I don't even know what group we in. Oh, we're not. It's because we're not in anymore. Anyways, right? We lose to the Netherlands 3-1, but before that, before all that, we had tied with England. I knew that. We frustrated a pretty solid England team. England's usually a pretty good team. Frustrated them 0-0, 0-0. How are y'all soccer peeps be saying it? Then they had to beat Iran to get in, and I don't know how good Iran is. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know, oh, yeah, Iran was a tough fucking matchup, boys. That was a real fucking hard-fought win for the old USMNT. No, I have no idea. But they beat them. They go and play the Netherlands, and these fuckers just took it to them. Here's what I have to say about U.S. soccer, right? This is just my thought, and what do I fucking know? But I'm gonna give you my 2 cents. What I have to think about soccer is I don't think we ever get the best players for our national team, because I don't think our best athletes give a fuck about soccer. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. I really don't. I don't think LeBron James ever thought about playing soccer. I don't fucking think Patrick Mahomes is playing soccer. I don't think Tyreek Hill. What if we had fucking Tyreek Hill just go play soccer? You don't think we don't have guys? And I'm not saying Tyreek Hill could just go play soccer right now and he'd be good. No, soccer is a hard fucking sport, and it takes skill and takes practice. But I'm saying if these guys didn't train and go and play soccer, you don't think we could win like we do in fucking basketball and just shit on everybody in basketball? I mean, come on. Now, it's not going to be just like basketball because, soccer's played globally. It's a global sport, the biggest sport. And everyone plays it, right? It's a simple fucking game. You kick the ball in the fucking net. You can do that anywhere, right? And I say simple as in simple to, you can't just pick up and, everyone's got shoulder pads and you just go play tackle football outside. It's simple as in you just need the ball and you go play on a soccer field. All right, got it. So anyone can fucking play it. It's not like, it's for everybody. So everyone plays it, and everyone plays basketball. But the point being is this is a huge sport everywhere but in the United States. And we also don't put our athletes don't go play soccer. That's not where the money is. You don't hear about Mike Trout going and fucking playing soccer and signing some. There's no money in soccer. That's why our athletes aren't going to. Our athletes are going to where the money is. There's big TV deals in football because we watch football. Americans love football. There's big money deals in baseball. people still love watching baseball on TV, I guess. I don't fucking know. Somebody's supporting that business. Basketball, big. Everyone loves, basketball is huge here. So it's where your market is. Soccer has never been embraced by Americans. Like, we don't like soccer as much as we like football, baseball, basketball. It's just plain same as hockey. There's a lot of hockey's starting to try to be pushed a lot more on, it's on ESPN and stuff. I see that a lot. They're trying to show a lot more hockey now, get people into. It's just no one's biting on that shit, dude. I think I would probably give hockey a go before soccer, watching it wise. But I'm just trying to think of it logically here. I just don't feel like our best athletes participate in soccer, and that's why we don't. We're not very good at it. But for the people that every 4 years are painting their fucking face and yeah, USA, and they ain't watched fucking soccer since the last World Cup, chill the fuck out, dog. Shut up. Stop doing that. Stop. Those people are the worst types of people. I have no problem admitting I don't watch soccer, and I sure as hell didn't watch the World Cup. Because if I don't watch soccer all year round, I'm not watching it for this one moment, just to be like USA, USA. No, we fucking suck, dog. We're not good at soccer. We don't put it out in soccer like everybody else. So, shout out to the fucking Netherlands. I don't know if they're fucking that team, but they go and play Argentina. I do know Lionel Messi did get his first goal in the World Cup. And isn't that crazy? That guy that's if anything, that'll tell you how tough soccer is. That guy is that damn fucking good, right? He's one of the best. It's him and Ronaldo, right? If you may not know soccer, but you know those two fucking names, Messi and Ronaldo. Everyone does. If you don't, you're bullshitting. So, how that guy Messi has never scored a goal in the World Cup? I hope I'm getting that right. In the World Cup, right? Like in the whole World Cup, he has not scored a goal in his career, and he got his first one. That's fucking wild. That shows you how tough soccer is. If a guy like that isn't scoring till that late in his career, that's fucking crazy. Because that dude's talented as fuck. So, I don't know. But Argentina won. They're gonna play the Netherlands. What do we got? They don't play again until tomorrow at 9 a.m. They got Japan and Croatia, Brazil and South Korea. Oh no, we do have a game. We got England. Okay, England plays. France and Poland's about to kick off shortly as I'm going over this. Okay. So we got England, the team that we frustrated, held to 0-0 to kind of keep us going. They're playing Senegal? Wow. Who the fuck is that? Where is that at? Is it Africa? Africa sides. Okay, so African team. Okay. Somewhere in Africa. All right. Interesting. So they're going to play England. I do love this about soccer. You hear about these countries and you're like, wait, they're fucking good at soccer? I didn't even know they had who the fuck they are. I would never have heard of Senegal. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. Until this. I never would have fucking known. Right? I think all the other teams are pretty big, bigger. Morocco, maybe one of a smaller team. They're playing Spain. I'm sure I don't know much about Morocco, but I know Spain is fucking a powerhouse. Used to be, at least. Where's Italy at, dog? Where's my team? Where's Italy? We used to be a fucking powerhouse in soccer. Must not be that good anymore, man. I remember growing up, Italy was the fucking team. They had some guys. Who is the fucking guys? What's his fucking name? I'm not gonna be able to remember his name, but they had a fucking stud on the Italian team. Can't remember his fucking name. Italy not in it. Damn fucking shame. My peeps are out. But yeah, I just wanted to throw my 2 cents on the World Cup and all that. We also did have a good fight night, UFC. I did not get to see this one. I got to go back and watch the Wonder Boy fight against Kevin Holland. I heard that one was fucking absolutely nuts. So I'm gonna go check that out, guys. So as always, I love y'all. Have a good one. Peace.